Man, ladies and gentlemen, we got to talk about this, bro. About 2 days ago, I was just scrolling through my phone on Facebook of all platforms, right? I'm just looking through things, and I come across a video, a very bizarre video, and I think it's AI. And that goes to show how scary this AI shit is, right? But anyway, I watched a video of this guy getting into his truck. It looks like he's a worker of some sort, maybe for FedEx or some shit. He's getting into his truck and he's just chilling, about to start the engine, and he looks out and you see a plane coming down and crashes into a ball of flames. I'm talking fireballs probably 20 feet, 30, 40 feet high. It was so bizarre to me. I kind of sucked my teeth and I was like, and I just kept scrolling. I thought it was just another bizarre Sora video or another bizarre AI put together. But come to find out, it was very real. Apparently, this was a UPS plane leaving Louisville, Kentucky. It was flying out and it was supposed to land down in Hawaii because apparently UPS has a really big base out there, right? It was a three-man crew. Now, I believe they were all pilots, or they all had something to do with flying this plane, right? It was a three-man crew, and almost as soon as this plane takes off, one of the engines, I believe it was the right engine, don't quote me on that, one of the engines literally falls off. People have video of engines falling off of this plane. And we're going to get to the video and the pictures and all that. But it's scary, bro. I don't know what's going on with this plane situation, but I hope they figure out what's going on. And I wanted to bring it to you guys because it's the first thing that went through my mind, the first thing that passed my mind was the government shutdown. Now, I don't know if I'm jumping the gun. I know there's a lot of investigation that's going to take place and stuff like that. But if you think about it on a whole, you know, we got to think about November coming up right now, too. We got to think about Thanksgiving and all this shit that's happening. With the government shutdown, we have essential workers, right? Obviously, we all know how this goes. We've been through COVID. We've been through everything. Essential workers have to keep working regardless if they're getting paid or not. That involves TSA. That includes air traffic controllers. That's the extent to what I know is affected by this government shutdown. Now, I'm not blaming anybody or anything, but the first thing that popped into my head was just less workers, more same demand. You know what I mean? I don't know, bro. It's very scary, and all I gotta say is, you know, shit, take it easy out there. But anyways, let's go ahead and check this thing out. First, we're gonna start with just an update from the initial situation. Then I'll run some video to show you guys exactly what happened.
The plane was traveling from Louisville, Kentucky to Honolulu, Hawaii. There were 3 souls on board the plane. After being cleared for takeoff, a large plume of fire in the area of the left wing occurred during the takeoff roll. The plane lifted off and gained enough altitude to clear the fence at the end of runway 17R. Shortly after clearing that fence, it made impact with structures and the terrain off of the airport property. A post-impact fire ensued, which covers approximately almost a half of a mile. Now, we have viewed airport CCTV security coverage, which shows the left engine detaching from the wing during the takeoff roll. This and other videos, along with evidence we are finding, are a very valuable asset to our investigators.
Now, this is one of the stranger things because it's like, how does an engine fall off without somebody finding out? You know, without somebody realizing and clearing this thing to take off. And apparently the reason it blew up so ridiculously like that was because it was full of fuel. I think 30,000 gallons of fuel, something around. It was a lot of fuel. So basically all that fuel just went up in smoke. And this is pictures, basically. This is part of the engine itself that's just boom, on the ground, chilling, vibing. You know, if that's not terrifying for you, I don't know what is. And now we have a death toll, like I was saying, including 1 child. So 11 adults, 1 child, some people on the ground, some people, well, all the people in the flight deck, all the crew. But here's another angle of it right here. So what I'm assuming happened, damn. So what I'm assuming happened is that they were moving so fast, obviously, toward the end of the runway, to where they couldn't just be like, oh, well, let's stop moving fast. You know, they had to take off or else they would smack into something. So they take off, but with that engine gone, I'm pretty sure the pilot was attempting to just fly with one engine maybe and see if they could just land somewhere else, because as the plane comes through, I'm a slow frame it here. As the plane comes through, the landing gear is still out. The landing gear is still out. So obviously you're not going to retract it. I think he was probably attempting to just land somewhere close by. And if you notice right here, he hits the telephone pole. He keeps going, and then he hits another edge of the telephone pole and then crashes. Terrifying, bro. I thought this shit was fake. And right here is basically just another angle to give you an idea how big this explosion was. Way in the back, you could see it. The flame, man, listen, that was like 100-foot. That was 100-foot flames right there. That was a big crash. And I think they may have survived if they didn't have that much fuel. And apparently jet fuel is super toxic, right? So even the cleanup crew, like the first responders, couldn't respond immediately because of all the smoke that it was causing. Look at that shit. Holy shit. Say GG to the atmosphere, am I right? Just 2 mushroom clouds. And look how thick that smoke is. It's still burning. It's not like it's just going to stop. That smoke is just still pumping out. Holy shit, bro. Nowadays you can't tell. That's why I have to stay on it. When I feel like something is real, I got to really investigate, because there's so much AI out here you don't even know sometimes. But anyway, these are the actual pilots who were in the plane. And obviously, you know, it could have been human error, but I highly doubt it, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't think there's anything that a pilot could do from within the plane that would cause the engine to fall off. Like that's what's so scary to me about the whole thing, is like, you could be the best pilot in the game, you could be this, that, and the other, but if the engineers or the mechanics or whatever mess something up, you're just there to fly. I don't think pilots know how engines and shit work, and they go outside and inspect the engine and shit. No, they're here to fly and to make sure all the sensors are working and everything's good on the inside. So, but anyways, we have First Officer Lee Truitt, International Relief Officer Dana Diamond, and Captain Richard Wartenberg, Flight 2976 UPS pilots. You know, you gotta be a special breed of pilot to really just be hopping on those things and taking off into the air, bro. You gotta be a special breed of person. When I was a kid, I didn't see anything wrong with it. When I was a kid, I didn't see nothing wrong with it. I was like, yeah, that's the coolest job on the planet. It probably is, but it's so... They say flying is safer than driving, man. But, you know, I guess it is statistically, but fuck. Shit's scary. Let's move forward. So before we move on to the UPS statement, because I believe they dropped a statement, obviously, this was the first video I saw about 2 days ago, and this was the reaction of the UPS or whoever, whatever driver this was his reaction. This was the video I thought was fake. I saw it the exact same way. It was grainy, blurry, and I thought this shit was AI. Look at how it reflects across his face.
Oh, shit! Oh, my fucking...
Damn. At the top, you see miles per hour, then you see limit. So I think he's in like a work truck or something, just having a regular day, and that shit pops up. That's crazy, bro. So, of course, UPS came out with a statement. It says, statement from Nando Cesaron, UPS Executive Vice President, U.S. and USPS Airlines. I hope I said his name right. Words can express the sorrow we feel over the heartbreaking Flight 2976 accident. It is with great sorrow that we share the names of the UPS pilots on board UPS Flight 2976, Captain Richard Wartenberg, First Officer Lee Truitt, and International Relief Officer Captain Dana Diamond were operating the flight. Our hearts go out to every UPSer who has been impacted and all in our Louisville community. Supporting you and ensuring you receive the care and resources you need is our priority. This continues to be an incredibly sad time for our entire UPS family. UPS family. I hate that word in corporate. We're just a family. I hate that fucking word in corporate. And as our CEO, Carol Tomei, reminded us, united, we are strong. We extend our deepest sympathies to the families and friends of our colleagues and the loved ones of those in the Louisville community. Yeah, all I really need to hear from UPS is payout. It's not gonna fix anything, but at least let the families live without worrying about finances. That y'all need to take care of them families. That shit is crazy. And there's people on the ground that got killed because of this. But anyways, that was their little cookie cutter corporate response to everything. I mean, what else can you say? At this point, there's an investigation going into what exactly happened. So I'm going to keep my eyes open to find out or to see if any more details are exposed. But right now, I think they're about to resume flights from that location, I believe today. And the investigation continues. But before we go, I just want to show you the aerial view of the crash after, everything was cleared through. So this is an aerial view with a drone, I believe, that basically just showed the pathway of it. It smashed through anything that was in its way. And I'm pretty sure that this building around this area right here was probably the area where somebody got killed. Yeah, no, that shit's terrifying, bro. We're definitely, well, shit. Let me not say definitely, but hopefully there is a clear and cut reason as to why this happened, and we find out, and that they tell the public, and that we all understand, and we can take that and be confident with it. I believe so. Maybe with a little bit of time. But anyways, here's one more angle of it to where helpers couldn't even really help because of the smoke. That's how bad it was. According to the initial reports, the plane had been cleared for takeoff Tuesday when a large fire developed in the left wing and the engine fell off. Jesus. Flight records show the plane was grounded in San Antonio from September 3rd to October 18th, but it's unknown what maintenance was performed. And this is the thing, you know what I'm saying? Shit, bro. It just makes me think back to the government shutdown, and obviously the engineer or whoever's working on the engine itself is probably still getting paid, so his incentive is still there. You know what I'm saying? But who knows, man? Shit, I just hope we figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Stay inside, stay safe, folks. It's a crazy world out there, man. And pray for the families. But anyways, folks, I'll see you guys real soon. Peace.